My name is Rita and I'm the head of disability practice at Dutton Street. I'm going into my fourth month. I have a disability. I've got a sensory disability. I'm deaf blind. This is my beautiful dog Joel. He's been very well behaved at the moment. Um, and so I am a practicing lawyer. I do all aspects of disability rights. I've been in this trade a long, long time. I work within the team with Michelle and Golda, where they don't have a lived experience, but I think it's an additional skill that you can actually relate to your client better. And they may have a different disability, but the trauma of they being discriminated against on the ground of your disability is the same feeling. I've gone through that journey myself in my personal life, even from a young age, which, I can relate to, I'll talk to about it later on. The feeling's the same. You'll never forget that feeling of being discriminated or excluded or belittled because you're different and you've got a disability. And so for me, when I speak to a client, I'm quite entitled to say, I know how you're feeling. I know what you're going through. But having said that, I can empathise and I can try and walk alongside them to bring them out into a better light. So when I was a little girl, I was born, blind and deaf, and so it's a little girl dream, every little girl dream to be a ballet dancer or ballroom dancer, and you play dressed up, and I pleaded with my mum to say, oh, can I please go to a dance school? And so my mum took me down to the dance school in our local town, and she said, oh, my daughter would like to enrol, and the dance teacher said, oh, and I do apologise beforehand if this offends anybody. Basically said to my mum, we don't take handicapped children, and so as little as I was, I think I was about 7 years old, maybe a bit younger. I remember my mum saying, come on, we're going home. And we were walking home and I could see my mum crying, and I said, Mum, why are you crying? I said, oh no, it's nothing, it's okay, and can I go to dance school? No. And I actually said to her, what does handicap mean? And she said, it means you're not perfect. And then it hit me then, as young as I was, I thought, no, am I not perfect? And Mum turned around and said, but Rita, you are perfect in every way. It's how other people see you, and you're perfect, and you'll go on to do great things. I didn't get in the dance school, but along my journey in my life, and I did encounter other incidents of discrimination in employment, for example, and it just made me more determined to think, well, I've got to do something about it. And so I actually worked in public service for a long time, and then when my eyesight started deteriorating, I thought, right, time for a career change, start studying law, and here I am. I specialise in disability rights, and just at a positive end to that incident about the dance school, I'm now doing ballroom dancing and competing in the WA Opens, and so I pretty much say I've gone into my second childhood. So that was the very, very first incident that probably set that foundation for me to go into law. to help other people with disabilities not to have to face the same experience that I did as a child. I think people with disabilities are by nature, they isolate themselves simply because they don't want to go out in the community for fear of being made to feel different or discriminated against. And so by nature people isolate themselves and stay at home and hardly go out. But then if they're housebound, how are they going to access that legal assistance? It's ideal. It's almost, you can, everybody's on the internet, everybody's got an electronic device. You go on your phone, I need legal assistance to help me with, my disability discrimination matter or my family violence matter. That platform will save a lot of lives because people can, you don't have to leave your home. You can go online and try and get that help, whether it be family violence or whether it be disability discrimination. And no matter what legal issues that you're going through, if that person is able to access a referral tool that's being monitored and that will get you to the right location to get that legal assistance, and they're not being bounced from pillar to post. I'm a firm believer that just because you've got a disability, it doesn't mean that an advocate or a lawyer has to do everything for you. I'm a firm believer of building resilience, because if you build resilience, then people with disabilities will build that skill to self-advocate. And what a fantastic idea is to have all that information in one place on the website, giving legal advice on different topics like family violence, disability discrimination, guardianship, NDIS appeals, NDIS general advice, tenancy. And so, it's giving people those skills to go and find the information for themselves. That website is accessible to a person with a different disability. And that's what I like about it. It's there, it's the wraparound service, it's like a one-stop shop. They can go just to that one place and put the details in, and then it will give them the information where to go for the nearest legal services or telephone or contact details. It makes me feel this moment in time very humble. The fact that I'm part of it, that I've had a say in how it's delivered and what it should look like. And of course, it's exciting because it's just going to make people with disabilities' lives so much easier. Gobsmacked that we can do this, but I really, really do know that it will make a difference to people with disabilities. It will give them the right to access the correct services, done quickly, efficiently, and will help them to resolve their legal issues or whether they need advocacy services. I just like to say that it's been a privilege to take part in this project, and I've got to say, thank you, Department of Communities and Dutter Street for driving it. Um, I'm really excited about it, but I know it will make a difference to people with disabilities. It's not just there for people with disabilities, it's there for the families, carers, support workers. Even if a person with a disability may need assistance to access that website and the referral tool, they'll have the support to do it, say from a family member or carer or a support worker. But you're building that resilience. You're building that resilience. You're not giving them a hand out, you're giving them a hand up, and then you can walk along beside them in a virtual way. And that's moving with the times.